Ecumenism of the Hearts.
Paiva Netto.
Article.
When we speak of ecumenism, we want to say universalism, fraternity without borders, international solidarity, seeing that we understand humanity as a family. And there is not a single family in which all the children have the same behavior. Each one is an independent cosmos, which does not mean to say that these
celestial bodies
have to collide with each other. It would be chaos. We refer to the ecumenism of the hearts, of good feelings, which does not depend on the ordinary differences of the human family, wherein people reason according to their own state of maturity, fit to the range of their knowledge, or their lack of it. The ecumenism that convinces us not to waste any time with hatred and sterile disputes, but rather to lend a hand to the fallen, for it is touched by the suffering of others. To take our own shirts off to clothe the unclothed, to contribute to the healing balm of those who are ill, to protect the orphans and the widows, as Jesus teaches us in the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 10, verse 8. Those who understand the elevated meaning of the ecumenism of the hearts know that education with all-encompassing ecumenical spirituality is fundamental for the progress of nations. Because ecumenism is education open to peace, for the strengthening of a nation,
not for it to rule over others.
Therefore, it is the shelter of a country and the survival of the globe that protects us as its children, even if not always well-behaved ones. All we need to do is remember the deplorable phenomenon of global warming, each day less and less denied by the greatest thinking minds of the world. Pioneer ecologists, politicians, and top scientists have already undertaken practical solutions to restrain the pollution that has been poisoning us since the maternal womb. As I affirmed in 1981, to the Italian journalist living in Brazil,
Paulo Raposo Parisi,
1921, 2016, and published in the Globalization of Fraternal Love magazine. Never has it been so indispensable as now to unite efforts in the struggle against hunger and for the preservation of life on the planet. It is imperative to take advantage of the endeavor of everyone, ecologists and their detractors, as well as workers, entrepreneurs, media professionals.
Written, spoken, televised, and now I also include the internet.
Union leaders, politicians, armed forces, lawyers, scientists, religious people, skeptics, atheists, philosophers, sociologists, anthropologists, artists, actors, sports people, teachers, professors, doctors, students or not.
Though our desire is that everyone receives schooling,
Housewives, heads of households, barbers and hairdressers, manicurists, taxi drivers, street cleaners, among other segments of society. The first woman to go to space, 1963, Russian cosmonaut
Valentina Tereshkova
summarized in one phrase much about the seriousness of the situation we are facing with regard to the problem of global warming.
Once you've been in space, you appreciate how small and fragile the Earth is.
The subject has become dramatic and its prospects tragic. For the same reason, it is urgent to strengthen an ecumenism that crosses barriers, appeases hatred, promotes an exchange of experience that instigates global creativity, corroborating the value of socio-humanitarian cooperation among partnerships as, for example, in popular cooperatives in which women play a key role, highlighting the fact that they are completely against waste. There really is a lot to learn from each other. The opposite of that is undoubtedly the path of violence, brutality, wars, which invade homes around the world.
Alzira Zarur,
1914, 1979, late founder of the Legion of Goodwill, used to emphasize that battles for good require bravery.
Simone de Beauvoir.
1908. 1986. French writer, philosopher, and feminist, got it right when she stated that.
All success cloaks a surrender.
Summarizing. Every time we overcome arrogance and prejudice, there shall always be something fair and good to assimilate from all the components of this great,
In quotes, Noah's Ark.
which is the globalized world today. That is the reason why we recommend the union of all people for the good of all, since we share a single home, the earth. The abuses of its inhabitants have been demanding an imperative measure: either we seek integration or we will head towards disintegration. That is why we should strategically work in partnerships that promote effective prosperity for the popular masses. The times require that we develop, without delay, a true awareness of the social problems that need an urgent solution. It never is, nor was it ever, just enough to roll up the car's window. The need for reform is knocking at our door. Let us implement it before the traumatic processes of society demand that measures be taken. Then, in addition to our rings, we will also lose our fingers. History is full of examples.
Extract from the article.
8 Millennium Goals.
Article, written by journalist
Paiva Netto.
It was also published in the Globalization of Fraternal Love magazine, available in English, Esperanto, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish, which was delivered to heads of state and other participants during the United Nations 2007 high-level segment in Geneva, Switzerland.
José de Paiva Netto.
Is a writer, journalist, radio broadcaster, composer, and poet. He is the president of the Legion of Goodwill, LGW,